for that. Welcome to Coffee with the Port St. Lucie Mayor. I'm Teresa Aronson from the St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce. It's our pleasure, our honor to do this event every second Friday of the month. It's free. It's open to the public. We do it at 8:30 a.m. right here in Council Chambers at City Hall, the beautiful city of Port St. Lucie. And I have with me, as always.
Get it. She got it right.
I got it right. I know.
If you notice, there was a hesitation. She had.
I second guess myself all the time.
Okay. Yes, Port St. Lucie.
Yes. Well, I do a lot of shows and I second guess myself all the time, so I slow down and think about it. But please welcome the mayor of this beautiful city, Mr. Gregory Orovec.
And I think Beyonce said this, say my name?
Yes, Gregory Orovec.
Okay, excellent.
Very good, very good.
That's not even tough. I look nothing like Linda Hudson. It's a festive time of year. I hear a little ringing on the microphone, so we have to adjust that.
Oh, you do hear a little ringing?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a festive ringing in the background, if you can hear it.
So we can get the pitch.
Are we good?
I think so.
Oh, they're so good back there.
I got a low
So hopefully everyone had a happy Hanukkah. For everyone who celebrates Hanukkah, I'm sorry that the holiday ended on the 10th, but now everyone should be decking their halls.
Yep.
Lynette, you have your halls decked? Not
Really?
yet?
Not yet?
You have children.
Sunday is the day.
All right.
I have no young children at home. I think I did it the day after Thanksgiving.
So well, at least hopefully DCF is watching this. Yeah.
I'm glad we both were like, but you have young children.
Yeah.
We have called you out for failing your children on TV.
Aren't you glad you came?
I know.
Yes. Thank you for playing along. We'll have a nice parting gift for you. Yeah.
Very good.
What do you got on the agenda?
Well, we have, of course.
Don't cry.
I
It's
know.
okay. It's all right. I'm sorry.
I get so emotional. I feel so
No, it's
bad
okay.
for Lynette's children. I'm teasing.
We have a little fun here. This isn't the serious show. Yeah.
I've been dealing with a little watery eye. It's our weather down here. We can't seem to get rid of it, but that's okay. We'll get through it. We have, of course, Sean Boyles here with our advocate. No, Children Impact. Community impact. See, I had to screw up something. It's not a show until I screw up the name of something.
You got the city right, so that's.
I got the city right, the mayor right, so somebody had to pay. Yeah. Community Impact Award winner from Children's Services Council, and then let's see, we're going to pick a winner again for our cruise, the Chamber Cruise that leaves in April. Or it's time to pick a winner, a raffle winner.
And Marisol won that before, your photographer.
She did, and I feel like you protested just a tiny bit. So I don't think she's entered again. So we'll see what happens. But if Marisol wins again, then I'm going to be in trouble. I think everybody's going to call into question the sanctity of our raffle.
Process,
yeah. So I'm sure she won't. But anyway, so it's a full show.
What about our sponsor?
Our sponsor is coming up. It's Florida Community Health Centers. We've worked with them all year. They're great. They're
See, like a true chamber president, she always gets that right there.
There you go. We're a nonprofit membership organization. Know your sponsors. Anyway, so they're with us again today, and they're great community partners as well, so we're excited about that. And we actually have somebody different from the organization that we're going to meet in just a moment. So it's a big show. It's a full show. We got a packed agenda.
All right. Well, then I guess we should get to it on this holiday edition.
Holiday edition of Coffee with the Port St. Lucie Mayor. We'll be right back.
And 2 and 2.
Very good. Welcome back to Coffee with the Port St. Lucie Mayor. I'm Teresa Aronson from the St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce. It's my pleasure to welcome our sponsors. We do every single month. It's the only reason why we're able to do the show for free, and it's open to the public. Please join us second Friday, 8:30 a.m. at City Hall. And our sponsor, of course, is Florida Community Health Centers. They've been a great partner to not just us at the Chamber this entire year, but they're a great partner for the community, and so we're so excited to showcase them every other month here. Please welcome Alejandro Miquel, who is the Chief Medical Officer for all of the Florida Community Health Centers around here.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Welcome. Thank you for being with us. It's so exciting. I asked you about that, and I said, the centers here, and you said all the centers.
All the centers,
All
yes.
the centers.
Yes.
And how many do you have?
We have 12 centers where we provide patient care. We also have 2 other centers where we do not provide patient care, but we encompass 6 different counties in South Florida. So we have a pretty wide span, and and outreach, and we're very proud of the work we do, helping out the communities, especially up here in Port St. Lucie.
And we talk about this every month, but just to give a recap, Florida Community Health Centers is income-based. They have a sliding scale. They accept all insurance, including Medicaid, Medicare, all of that. So it really is a community center in that you can help everybody. And we talked about this just before the show, that was the one thing that kind of drew you to this, the ability to help those that most need it.
It is. You know, with what some people would consider a crisis in the United States in the healthcare system.
Yes.
And it's always evolving and changing. We have to find creative ways to provide services to those who have a more difficult time accessing healthcare. One of the problems is that you're either getting a lot of employed physicians or physicians going into an even more private sector as concierge medicine.
Yeah.
And the people who usually can access those types of services have options.
Yeah, they have a little more resources.
They do. And the people who can't or don't have any other options, they're getting even more limited these days. So that's why it's so important to have a community health center where we don't turn anybody down. We'll see anybody who walks to the door, regardless of their ability to pay, or if they want to pay too much, we'll see them all. You know,
they can pay too much. They can donate to the rest of the people that, because the ability to get service down Medicaid, Medicare keeps shrinking and shrinking and shrinking because of the reimbursement policies, obviously. And so you guys do you do some fundraising to offset those costs?
We do fundraising at the center level, where we're always trying to raise funds to give back to our patients. And as an organization, we're actually just now starting to raise funds outside of grants and the typical ways to get some income as a non-for-profit community health center. So we're very excited about the direction we're heading. We're growing. Every year it seems like we're growing more, which means we get to provide access to even more people in the community and really provide that quality health care. And one thing that's very important I want to say is we're also trying to break the stigma of what a community health center is. Usually people see it as a clinic of last resort or some place where only a certain population of people go. But I invite you guys to visit any of our centers because you'll see that they are as nice as any private office you'll go and see. The staff is just as nice, in my opinion, nicer. And it's not just for specific populations. It's for anybody. So
it is, and that's a good point because they're in neighborhoods, and they're in different neighborhoods, and neighborhoods of all shapes, sizes, and makeup. And the one out in Darwin Square is a beautiful center, and it's very conveniently located. So if you have insurance in that area, please feel free to use this. That does help offset some of the other costs.
Absolutely.
But it's also very convenient for those that have regular insurance as well.
It is. You're going to get the same service, the same quality care in a very nice environment with very nice people, regardless of who you are.
And it's not just same service, but you guys have expanded services. So let's talk about that for just a second with Florida Community Health Centers.
We do. We have expanded services. So we don't just provide the traditional preventative medicine, although that is our bread and butter. We also have pediatrics. We have OBGYN services. We are now rolling out our mental health services program and substance use disorder program, and as well as infectious disease.
Wow.
So we're really trying to offer as much as we can because we want it to be a one-stop shop. We don't want people to have to come in and then get referred somewhere else and somewhere else.
Go get your blood work here, go get your X-ray here. So you really can do a lot of it.
We can do a lot of it in-house.
Different centers.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's a great organization.
Thank you.
I've really enjoyed learning about what you guys do over the past year or so, and I think that it's done wonders for the community to understand Florida Community Health Centers as well. So how many locations here in St. Lucie County?
5. Yeah. Five.
Yeah. Rob, I like Robin. She was ready, but you had it to go.
She was. Well, she knows that I, flub things up.
You have so many.
Yes.
I got to get something wrong. It's not a show till somebody flubs something up.
This time I got it right.
Very good. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
And let's give out the website before we go.
Oh, the website. Who's got that? www. Here we go. FCHCINC.org.
There you go. And he did that completely on his own.
On my own.
There you go. Thank you for being with us. It's been a pleasure
I appreciate
meeting you.
It was my pleasure.
Hang out with you for just a second, and we'll be right back, everybody. Port St. Lucie Mayor. Right now, we're going to do one of my favorite segments, and that is give an award to our Community Impact Award winner of the month. And it's courtesy of Children's Services Council. And I have with me, of course, the mayor of this beautiful city.
Hello, everybody.
And the executive director of the Children's Services Council of St. Lucie County, Mr. Sean Boyle. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. We talk a little bit every month about what the Children's Services Council is and your 5 initiatives, so I'm going to let you do that.
Oh, you want me to do this?
Unless the mayor and I want to tag team.
I always just want to consolidate some of them.
Yeah. Okay, you do it.
All right, so we have 5 priorities and the impact that we make in the community. 1, making sure every baby's a healthy baby.
That's a good one.
2, stopping child abuse before it happens.
Well, that's good too.
I like the comments on that. 3,
The peanut gallery.
Yeah. 3, keeping kids off the streets.
Yeah.
Just a tepid one? Okay.
I'm waiting for the next one.
4, keeping kids in school.
That's a real
So
good
you
one.
can keep them off the street by having them be in school. It seems
Yeah,
like
I
they should
know.
go together.
But keeping them in school, we have to make sure they're successful in school. So that includes reading. We argue about this.
You're the boss.
And then the 5th one is keeping kids off drugs, alcohol, and
And
other
other risky behaviors. Yes.
So does that one fit your? That
One is definitely distinct. But yeah.
So the mission of the Children's Services Council is to improve the quality of life for all children in St. Lucie County. Now, if you ever see that written on any document, all is capitalized. All 3 letters, A-double-L. And we say that because we try to reach every single child in our community, no matter where they live, no matter what they present. If they need help or assistance or whatever, we try to do that. So in my perspective, working with 50 programs that reached over 40,000 children last year, I get to see success story after success story. So we shared a success story last month. It was about a child named Jake.
Okay.
He attends the ARC after-school program.
All right.
Jake has ADHD and an intellectual disability. He entered the program because the parents obviously work. They need somewhere safe for him to go after school, but he was also having behavior problems. The ARC after school program addressed those programs, but also helped him explore his vocational desires. He is providing maintenance around the ARC, building furniture and doing all types of stuff, and he loves it there, and his behavior's gotten better. And so when we thought about this month of who to present to end the year, we thought of nobody better than this woman right here, April Barber, who every time you see her, every time we interact with her, she's going to put a smile on your face. And she's one of the great reasons why kids like Jake are successful in the ARC after school program.
Oh,
yeah, April.
congratulations.
She's a little nervous, so we got to warm her
I
up.
can see that.
So I think
She's
you
got
have some
support on
admirers out there, just, smile and wave. I always like to remind everyone not to be nervous. There's only thousands of people watching you. So, just take a deep breath. It's good. Talkie.
She's also got support on the side there.
Okay. From ARC
From the
as
ARC,
well.
yeah.
Good.
That's our executive director, Debbie Van Sluten, and the marketing director, Judy Scrolich.
So a team.
Great. Tell us a little bit about ARC.
ARC is an after-school program.
Might want to just a little bit closer. Sorry.
The ARC is an after-school program. We work with children with intellectual developmental disabilities. One of the key aspects of the program is happening with their educational goals. We have a lot of children that has career goals as well. And as he mentioned, Jake, he's an amazing kid, have great talent, but yet he had behaviors. But with those skills and us working with him and having him interact throughout the program, building things, help hanging curtains, help with our miniature playground, has reduced his behaviors tremendously, as well as academically as well.
Even at school, he's probably improving, right?
Yes, he has.
Yeah, it's important. I mean, when you keep them busy and give them goals and achievements, it's amazing what that can do for children.
turnaround.
That's fantastic. And what is your primary duties there?
I'm the manager. I oversee the program.
Very good. What a great way to end the year,
That's what I thought.
Sean.
Yeah. And big credit to the ARC of St. Lucie County. I know families with kids with intellectual or developmental disabilities need a resource, and the ARC of St. Lucie County, we've partnered with them for a long time. They're such an excellent resource.
And how many kids do they serve here in St. Lucie County? Do you know?
We're currently at 23 children.
Very good. And I'm sure it's just some of the hardest cases probably, so.
Some of them are. They
Yeah.
can be, but it's a rewarding experience working with them and being a part of their development, their learning. It's a great opportunity just to be a part of someone else's life and see them grow, see where they were and see their growth. It's amazing.
Yeah, I can't think of anything more rewarding.
Do you not realize now why we gave this award to April? I mean,
Yeah.
I need to start my day every day having a conversation with April. I would feel better about everything.
Yes, it makes everything we do seem so trivial sometimes, doesn't it? But yeah, because such great work. Well, thank you for everything that you do.
April, for people who are touched by your message and ARC's mission, how could people in the community help?
Good question.
Now get that mic close now.
Bring in reinforcements.
We're bringing in marketing?
Marketing? Okay, very good. Development. Come on in here. Tell us what they can do.
Okay, we have a website, www.Arc of St. Lucie, spelled ARCOFSTLUCIE.org.
Does anybody else have anything to add?
And I just want to give a shout out to Sean and Children's Services Council. Without their support, we couldn't have this program. And these kids wouldn't get the attention that they really need. So it's an awesome program. Look at our website, come by for a visit. We can give tours of any of our facilities because we serve 100-something plus adults as well with individually with special needs. So it's an awesome program, and the kids program is really, April is a joy to work with and awesome in the program. So that's my shout out to everybody.
There you
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for all you do. Thank you so much. I'm sorry?
May I add one thing?
I see no reason not to let you.
The other thing everyone can do is talk to teachers and school administrators. Just let them know that there's such a program, because not all schools still know that this exists. And thanks to the Children's Services Council, we keep the prices of attendance really low, $20 a week. And we just couldn't do it without this terrific partnership that we have. But spreading the word would help us a lot.
Very good.
Excellent.
10,000 viewers, that's a help, right?
Yes, 10,000 viewers. April, congratulations again. And thank you to all three of you. I appreciate what you do and the information you gave us today. So thank you. Thank you. We'll be right back, everybody. Welcome back to Coffee with the Port St. Lucie Mayor. I'm Teresa Aronson from the St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce, and we do this event every single month. It's the second Friday. It's at 8:30 a.m. right here in Council Chambers at City Hall, and I do Coffee with the Mayor with the mayor.
Linda Hudson, no.
Yeah. The mayor of the beautiful city of Port St. Lucie, Gregory Oravec. Welcome back.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah. We gave out an Impact Award winner, and we talked with Florida Community
did a great job.
Health Centers. So it's been a great show so far. And now we get to talk a little bit about what's going on in the city and what's happening. And
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, good.
But first, in the first segment,
in the first segment,
I gave our friend Lynette a hard time
About her tree?
decking the halls and not being decorated. And I always say, in all seriousness, when I'm talking with kids and out in the community, I always talk about how we all have a blind spot for our own baloney.
Yeah.
You know, we all do as people, but it's our job to shrink that down rather than grow it. And so as I was watching you and Alejandro Miguel, who, by the way, has a lot of certifications after his name. He's a doctor,
lot
he's
of initials.
MBA, FA, FP, which I don't even know what that is. But while I was watching you two, not only did I notice the height difference between you, I also noticed that our halls aren't very decked. No one likes a hypocrite.
Are we decorating
Let's decorate real quick.
the halls? Lynette, would you like to help since you
Come on, Lynette.
know how to do it? So you know how it's done? Oh, no. Oh, that's beautiful.
Councilman Morgan, that would be giving away taxpayer decorations. I don't think we should do that.
To hang the garland on the tall thing.
We don't want to see you locked up for Christmas. It's terrible.
How beautiful.
Now, listen, everybody. We always like to have fun and a serious message at the same time.
Did you steal this?
These are litter grabbers. That's my friend Gary Smith right there. He leads people serious about litter. Keep Port St. Lucie Beautiful, or people serious about litter, can hook you up with one of these, and also what's called the litter loop, which is a convenient device so you can keep Port St. Lucie beautiful. Seriously, the litter out there, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that we throw everything away and that we put it in the right place, and that we also get everyone we know to do the same thing, because we know that at our foundation we want to be, what, a safe, beautiful, and prosperous city for all people.
Very good. Well, I feel decorated. I wish we had a little bit more Hanukkah stuff, but we're
Hanukkah's over.
yeah.
Next year, if it coincides, we'll get the menorah.
We'll get them all. Okay.
Actually, so this is, I don't know if you've followed this in the news. It happens every year. People want to know why the city doesn't engage in religious celebration.
Oh, well, you can't.
And it really, deference to the Constitution and getting sued, you don't want to start picking religions that are favored by the state, right? So the city engages in secular celebration. You've seen across the city where the holiday decorations are up. But if you start doing things like manger,
Or a menorah.
or a menorah,
Yeah.
you start getting into a situation where it can get dicey. Like this year, in one of the state capitals, there is a satanic display.
Yes.
And because you can't, so if you're going to allow one religion to have a display, you have to allow them all. And I don't know if you've ever heard the Festivus pole or the Spaghetti Monster.
The Festivus poll was from a sitcom. I don't know if
No, it actually became, Festivus is now a holiday. It has tenants and
Yeah,
everything.
you're right.
And it's made out of Pabst Blue Ribbon cans, I believe. What's that?
Where do you get that?
Where do you get it?
a Festivus poll.
Just go Google it. I'm sure Amazon will deliver it, I'm sure, contrary to Teresa's earlier report. So they have that countdown clock of when you can get it.
They
I don't think
do.
we're in violation of that
But I
clock
want us to
yet.
shop local.
We do. Shop local.
Yeah, everybody should be shopping.
All right. Well,
Good.
it's all about the community,
Yep.
especially at this time of year. So let's just open it up. You got anything? And then we'll open it up for
I
questions.
don't really have anything. I'm excited about the upcoming year, and we're going to see a lot of great things. And I know we're going to get a Crosstown Parkway question, but it's opening up in 2019, so we'll just put that out there, so you don't have to. We don't have to tell them again.
All the piles are in.
Yep.
All the beams are in. I think there's only 4 decks, maybe 5 decks left.
Yep. So we're rocking and rolling
Amazing.
on that. November 2019, I believe, is the due date.
I think it's going to, honestly, I think it's going to get done sooner.
I hope so.
Crosstownextension.com if you want a bird's eye view. At this last council meeting, they did a lapse video.
Yep.
Also made Vice Mayor sick a little bit, so I guess don't take her to IMAX.
I don't do well with that either. I went to a car wash in Vero, and it comes to over your car and made me a little sick.
Fun
All right.
facts that I didn't know about.
Yeah. All right, we're going to open it up for questions. Does anybody have? Oh, Dana has one. Just wait till Mark gets there with the mic, though, if you don't mind. Okay.
Hi, Mark. It's an easy question. I want to know where I get a trash picker-upper thingy.
That's a great question, where you could get a trash picker upper. Gary Smith right here, and these are labeled. They say People Serious About Litter, and that's Gary's nonprofit organization that cleans up the city. He will sell you that and a wooden square that is homemade that you put trash bags on to take out with you, so you don't have to take a bucket. Or it's beautiful, and I don't know if he has one with us, but Gary will sell these to you. I think they're just $10, right, Gary?
Yeah, the money goes to the Rotary Club.
And the money goes to the Port St. Lucie Sunset Rotary Club, right? No? Oh.
But they work closely with us.
Okay, very good. So Gary would be glad to
There's
sell
the
them.
Sunset Rotary, and then there's the PSL Rotary, and the Sunset meets after sunset, or at least at sunset. Otherwise, it'd be false advertising. And the Lunch Bunch, they sing. To me, those are distinguishing characteristics.
The Fort Pierce Rotary sings too, but
And I'm not a singer. My voice is so terrible they make fun of me at church.
yeah. My choir teacher just told me to quiet down a little every time.
So people serious about litter, and also Keep Port St. Lucie Beautiful will give these away at some of our pickup events. And we would appreciate you supporting the cause.
Great question, Dana.
Do you have a litter loop on you,
Another
Gary?
question.
No, but they can Google People Serious About Litter. My phone number, contact information is there.
I have to repeat that.
Arrange to get you what you want.
Gary's giving us a bunch of information that you can't hear at home, but you can Google People Serious About Litter, and Gary's website will come up, and you can order on there, and he'll get you some more information. So thanks for that, Gary. You had a
Just
question?
recognizing all of his hard work. He's out there in Darwin, which Gary, I won't reveal his exact address, but he lives in St. Lucie West. He goes to the Darwin Square area just about every day, picks up litter, and then he's got a separate crew that does St. Lucie West Boulevard. So a lot of time spent there.
Good.
Yes, a couple of meetings ago, you had mentioned some things about the expansion project at St. Lucie West Boulevard that were on the books. Is there an update to that yet?
So the half-cent sales tax passed. Thank you, voters of St. Lucie County. So that's good because that's going to allow the city to improve every intersection on St. Lucie West Boulevard. And I believe, based on our preliminary conversation as a team, as a council, that you're going to see Cashmere, one of the first intersections that's done. We won't do them all at the same time because that would further induce chaos. In addition to the intersection improvements that we're doing, there's state-funded improvement of the entire interchange. And that's where you're getting additional bridge over and additional lanes connecting to PGA out there, unincorporated St. Lucie County, for those of you following at home. That's unincorporated St. Lucie County, but I mean, it's clearly part of the community. That's a big pinch point. It's a major entrance into the city. So that's going to get improved. Unfortunately, we're not in charge of that clock, so to speak. It's a state program. It's not going to really go down until about 2021, 2022. That's what we're looking at. And that's going to be the most substantive improvement. But you'll see the work on the intersection improvements. The engineering will start in the next 6 months. And then you're going to see construction about 18 months out. So it's going to happen.
And it's all very exciting. I mean, we need it so very badly.
We do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a very busy corridor. We're getting new businesses out there every day.
And you know, it's that time of year where it's time for me and other council members to reflect on 2018 and then get excited about 2019. I'm still going through that process, but probably the sales tax, one of the biggest things to happen in 2018, and it's going to be one of the biggest things in 2019 and beyond, because once we get through that original or initial design process, you're going to see major capital, substantive improvements to our community every year. Pretty exciting.
And we should mention until January, I think January 11th, you can apply to be on the oversight.
Ooh, good job.
Thank you.
High five. You can stop crying now. That's
talking
good.
head.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So as part of the promise, we said, and the county said, and Fort Pierce said, that we would have citizen oversight committee, and we are taking applications right now. So if you're interested, stop by the city clerk's office, go to our cityofpsl.com webpage, get the information, submit.
Yep. You can make sure every dollar goes to what we said it would.
Which it will.
And I believe every second of that. It's going to be great.
But just like Santa, we're going to make a list and you can check it twice.
Yep. Good question, though. Anybody else have a question today?
Boom.
Dang.
It's
Drop
a present to us.
Drop
Thank
the
you.
mic, Mark. No. Don't. Gus will get really...
Oh, yeah, that's expensive.
Yeah. It's city property, government property. Don't
Taxpayer
drop the
dollars
mic.
at work right there.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add? If anybody thinks of a question, let us know. But, Lynette.
I have an accolade for the city, if that's okay.
And Lynette has an accolade after we just tore you to pieces today on the show.
No, I would just like to.
Don't give her the mic.
I would like to congratulate the city on the sidewalk improvement projects that are going on around the city. Having school-aged children, it's a notable improvement, especially along that Oak Ridge area where there are, I believe, 7 bus stops in that area, and some drainage issues during the rainy season that are also improved by the sidewalk project, and just giving the city great accolades on the improvement projects and how quickly they're being completed and accomplished. So thank you.
Very nice.
Well, thank you, and we would in turn just thank everyone in the city who's been working, the citizens have been working so hard, so long on sidewalks. It's been a priority, and you finally just get to a tipping point right after, you don't see all the hard work that goes in behind the scenes until all those efforts start to bear fruit. And we're at that point now where on our major corridors, whether it be Parr or Savona, or Melaleuca or Oak Ridge / Bayshore / Floresta, it all blends together. You're finally starting to see Thornhill, starting to see these long runs of sidewalks. And of course, there's more in store because we have a sidewalk master plan. If you ever wanted to learn about sidewalks in Port St. Lucie, because it's a concern of yours, on our website, cityofpsl.com, if you would just type in sidewalks, you'll come to our sidewalk master plan. That whole sidewalk master plan is going to get constructed in 10 years or less, thanks to you, the voters who voted for the half cent. So that one, there's different pots of money. The one that you're talking about, Lynette, was CDBG funded, I believe. A lot of them are going to be half cent, but every major road in Port St. Lucie will have a sidewalk in 10 years or less. And, we take those for granted, but here, because of our original developer, we didn't have those sidewalks. We've been playing catch up at great expense, and we're finally going to get there. And just a little side note for you, this will be inside baseball for Trish if she gets mad at me when I do stuff like this, but there's a little gap. So South Bend Lakes is a great road. You live right off of it. I won't give out your exact address. So it's the house without the Christmas decorations.
It is.
But
and you can see it from South Bend. You can see it from the main road.
an incredible neighborhood. If you've driven by Jessica Clinton Park, you know that FPL did a demonstration project there that provides shade over the vehicles that are parked there,
And
produces
lights.
solar electricity. You have the first ever girls softball league in Port St. Lucie there. That's all within walking distance for South Bend Lakes, and it's got a great sidewalk with oak trees. But there's a gap at the C-24 in the new Oak Ridge, and this next year we're going to actually close that gap. Yeah, so you'll have that full loop. You can get out there and ride a bike or take a walk, and it'll be great.
Good. I saw we have many people. There's probably 3 or 4 more questions, so we're going to rocket through these, right?
Okay, let's do it.
We're rocketing.
Sure.
All right, John.
Quick update on Botanical Gardens.
On the Botanical Gardens?
Or the Riverwalk?
And the overall?
Yes.
That area.
The whole destination?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, so with the Riverwalk project, John gave us a good hint where we're talking about. Does everyone know where the Botanical Gardens is? Yes, we do. We know it's on Westmoreland, right off of PSL Boulevard. So you have Bridge Plaza, Botanical Gardens, cleared green area, bunch of woods, Anchorage condos, right? So that preserve, the open spot, Botanical Gardens, all kind of part of our Riverwalk area. We sometimes refer to it as the Westmoreland property. Back around 2014, we came together as a community and did a community-driven design process to create a waterfront destination. Some of the big elements that came out of that were that we're going to connect the boardwalk from the north side underneath the bridge to that site. And not only would it be a boardwalk, it would have dockage. And it has a wide part so that a band could play with the river as the backdrop back to the property. So that element. There's going to be historic structures there. And if you notice, there are 2 historic structures there. They're still kind of metaphorically up on blocks, unfortunately, but we're assured that they're going to be soon put onto their foundation.
Okay.
And that will allow us to have some type of historic cultural resource here. Mm-hmm. Of course, with the Botanical Gardens getting better every year on its own over there, we're going to have a wow type of playground play experience for kids as part of that. And then kind of the thing that makes it all go, a waterfront restaurant. And the city did a request for proposals for interested restaurateurs, and we had one submit the operators of the original Tiki Bar in Fort Pierce. So the city is currently negotiating with that operator to see if we come to terms where most likely what would happen is a ground lease of the property, where we would lease them the property, they would build a restaurant and operate a waterfront restaurant right there. So we would finally put the port in Port St. Lucie. It's pretty exciting.
It's exciting. It's going to be a great area. We need that for City of Port St. Lucie. But great question, John. I appreciate it.
You could dream big, and I'd encourage you to do it, especially this time of year as you're partying it up at the office party, or you're reflecting. Crosstown will be done. So what does that mean? Does that mean we could close Port St. Lucie Boulevard for celebrations, where we have a half-a-mile boardwalk on the river, multiple park sites? Because remember, really, all the way from Lingate, it really interconnects with a lot of public space, right? We have a great Lingate Park, then we have a great lake,
Veterans Memorial,
and then we have Veterans Memorial, then we have Rivergate. We have the promenade, which is commercial property, but it's right on the water, and eventually that boardwalk's actually going to physically connect. So you don't have to walk around the sidewalk, you'll be able to take a bridge right over. And that ties into Rivergate Park, which is where the boardwalk really starts, and you're going to be able to walk all the way from there. You got Tom Hooper Park behind Walgreens. Underneath, Bridge Plaza's talking about redeveloping, you know, McDonald's, Lefties, and somewhere that sells falafel, I think. Yeah. And that'll tie right into the site. So it's really exciting. We have squirreled away money kind of in every budget year to get those projects done. And we hope to, we're going to get those historic homes set. We're going to paint them, stabilize them. You'll probably see a request for proposals out for organizations that would like to operate those buildings, maybe as historic resources, might allow for some other uses. And recently we asked the city manager to hire an expert placemaker to really make the playground destination special. And the negotiations with the restaurateur are active right now. We hope to get that back soon. So just like I said, you're going to see the city get better with capital improvements every year. You're going to be seeing stuff happen at Riverwalk next year and the years after.
We had a question up here. Two of them, actually. She had hers first, and then we'll come to you, I promise.
Hello, thank you. Good morning. I am Melody Hearn. I'm first a parent and of a person with intellectual disability, and also appointed to empower those with disabilities under Family Care Council, which is an appointment by the governor to serve those who are served by our Medicaid waiver and wait list under the Agency for Persons with Disabilities. So we partner with them and give advice and how they're working. But I, as a parent, want to, in my own community, reach out and request that we're doing better now at serving that population for employment opportunities, but the transportation for those who need that extra help to get transported, how is our transportation system right in here in the Port St. Lucie City area happening? I'm working with the county that we can hopefully get that extra mile piece in there. In other words, a person with extreme disabilities, for safety and health purposes, cannot travel maybe to a bus stop. And federally to fund that right of theirs under ADA to get from their home address to a bus stop. So these are pieces that are gapping, but we hope to get there. How is Uber or Lyft or others coming into the city? And do you have any radar on that?
I don't have statistics. I know that they're here because I see some people with Lyft in their windshield on a regular basis. In the city, we don't provide transportation services per se because it's a regional service that we think is best provided by St. Lucie County and countywide agencies. So that would be something that I'd look to try to help you with, or I'm sure council members will try to help you with community transit.
And I had community transit on another show that I do at the county. I do it with the Board of County Commission Chair. Actually, Franny Hutchinson did it with me last time. And we talked a little bit about this. And the TPO here, Peter Buchwald and his organization, are working on getting something together with Uber and Lyft to be a part of our transportation needs. So you'll see that coming. You're going to see cities branch out and develop contracts or agreements or arrangements with some of these providers. And I can tell you that they are working on that now and trying to figure out what that looks like. So they're going to pull everybody in to partner for transportation needs. As you know, the county has expanded. They're looking to expand the services. The community transit is expanding their routes. And now that is also free. You know, community transit is free here in St. Lucie County, courtesy of the county and some grants in the state. So that's good news. But you will see partnerships between Uber and Lyft and communities in order to help those people with needs.
What's interesting is didn't community transit and the county have a partnership with Uber and Lyft for a while, but then I think it ended.
I'm not really sure. I don't know the particulars, so I don't want to speak on that, but I do know that it is ongoing and they continue.
For a while they had vouchers, and I think that program may have disappeared.
Because I think it might have been a grant. Yeah. So, but we'll see, and they're going to continue on, and they are still working on that. But I don't want to say specifically. We didn't talk about that. But great question. And we had a question right here.
Excuse me. I see more activity down at the park. Is FPL putting another solar panel in Jessica?
So what you're seeing at Jessica Clinton Park now is the expansion of the parking lot, because the park has such great utilization. We need to make some more spaces, and the fields are getting redone, and then the lighting system's going to come online. So there are a lot of improvements happening at Jessica Clinton.
Thing, are they?
No, there won't be. I'd love to get one here, though, whether it be FPL or we find a way to do it.
I was driving down 95. I see this massive solar farm by Vero.
Oh, it's huge.
Up north,
huge.
it's huge. It's in St. Lucie County, just so you know.
So the county's going to benefit from that?
Well, we all.
I think taxable value. Those are significant improvements.
But that is in St. Lucie County, their new solar field north. You can see it from 95, and they purposely wanted you to be able to see it, but it's a beautiful area, so I'm glad people are recognizing that it's here. Any more questions? Because we still have
monster.
to. It is, and the aerial views, you can go online and see some of those aerial views. It's beautiful. They do them well, and there's a lot of thought that goes into those and maintenance. And we just learned the other day that they use goats to keep the grass down in many of those solar fields. So
well, I hope they don't jump, because goats will climb and jump. I hope they don't jump on top of the solar panels.
I don't think they can. Probably pretty slippery.
I don't know. You've never seen a goat in action.
But it's interesting. So very good.
John had asked about Riverwalk Boardwalk project, and I just wanted to say cityofpsl.com, Riverwalk Boardwalk Extension Project. If you ever wanted to get background information or maybe the master plan, that'd be a good place to go.
Great. Mark's going to help us. We said we were going to give away a raffle.
I don't want to.
We have another question?
I got one last question.
One last question, Mark. Sorry. It's okay. Don't worry about it. That's what we're here for. He's here to answer your questions. We're happy to do so, right?
Absolutely.
I was just wondering if there's anything new with Southern Grove?
New with Southern Grove. Well, there's always something new with Southern Grove.
So you had to ask the weediest of all questions known to the mayor, but yes.
I heard about Somerset Academy the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Building a school there. That was pretty interesting.
So Southern Grove is the area south of Tradition Parkway all the way to Becker. Got about 4 running miles there. Village is already constructed. So the eastern part, the part that's between a sandwich between Village and I-95, that's the commercial area we call the jobs corridor. All right. The city owns almost all that vacant land through the Governmental Finance Corporation. The other piece to the west of Village, kind of between Village and where Community is and where Riverland Kennedy is coming out of the ground now, their giant pyramid, if you know what I'm talking about. That's owned by Mattamy Homes, right? So now we've kind of set the basic geography. So back up at Tradition Parkway in Southern Grove, Tradition Center for Innovation, we have Martin Memorial, with Tradition Medical Center, which, subject to regulatory authority, is going to soon be Cleveland Clinic, Tradition Hospital, right? So that's ongoing, and that's huge. Right at the corner, it's funny, you're starting to see these entertainment uses. So Pop Stroke Golf, like a miniature golf and golf simulation attraction, is nearing completion. They're the ones planting all of the beautiful palm trees and everything there as they make that kind of lush, tropical environment. Across the street, you have about 600 apartment units rapidly completing. To the south of that, you have, where Kaiser has obviously opened, and next to that, you see City Electric. They're building, right? That's 400,000 square feet. Next to that is where Oculus. We just recently announced that deal. When that's a German ophthalmologic device manufacturer. They're going to do 50,000 square feet. And then we're still in the running for Excel, which is a wire manufacturer. Their home state, Connecticut, is playing pretty hard to keep them, obviously. So we'll see what happens with that. And then kind of this whole area is what we recently brought the Urban Land Institute in for. They presented their initial findings, and we'll get the final report here in the new year, probably February, maybe. Probably, maybe. I don't know. Let's shoot for February. It's outside of our direct control, but let's say around February. And there is so much going on, so much active investment, but I'm not really at liberty at this point to share it because nothing is signed, and some of it is subject to economic development confidentiality. It's one of the few times that we're confidential.
Yeah. I
And then
do.
just north of that, the hotel, right? Is the hotel going in?
Oh,
Well, we have several hotels going in. You have one on the tradition side of Southern Grove, and you also have one in St. Lucie West.
Yeah, I was talking about the one that's where the new tax office is.
Correct.
Just north of that, I
Yes.
believe.
Yeah, I want to say that's a Marriott flag there, and it's under active construction. And some people in tradition were asking about that, and I always encourage people to check the master plan, check the land use. There's a lot coming to tradition, even on the north side, where so much seems like it's done. All of those vacant parcels are slated for development.
yeah.
And it's really, the entitlement's already set, but that should be a positive addition, I think.
I mean, I think it's going
Once
to take
people get used to it.
20-some years to we're still going to be seeing building out there in tradition. I mean, how long did it take St. Lucie West to get kind of
30
built
years.
out? Yeah.
Thank
And there's
you.
still lots out there. So it takes time, and we're going to be talking about this for a long time to come. But I think every year you're going to see movement in development direction because, as you mentioned, every vacant piece of land out there is slated for development. It's not, we don't have anything slated for non-development.
Correct. And St. Lucie West, 99% of the residential is built out, but you still have some major commercial pieces left out there, and the commercial follows. And so it's interesting dynamic if you think about it. All the residents, get filled, all the residents move in, and then they're like, oh, I thought it was just us. And then the businesses come, and sometimes people get upset,
It's never
sometimes
just
they don't.
you, just so you know. If you have
Yeah.
green grass beside you in the city limits, it's not just you.
Unless it's a designated park space, and that's why I can never advise you enough to check your land use map, check your zoning maps, do your homework.
Because it's vacant today doesn't mean it will be tomorrow.
Little Latin, caveat emptor.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your question, and I think you did a great job with that. Got through that really fast. And we're going to move on. Mark is going to bring over our raffle for our cruise. And for those of you that don't know, the Chamber is going on a cruise February 7th. We're going to cruise over to the Bahamas. We're going to stay in an all-inclusive hotel for 2 days, the Viva Wyndham. And then we're going to cruise back, and it's with our partners, Bahamas Cruise Line.
I knew Mark was going to do that.
Mark did that. All right. And then
These are Scrooge type.
I also want to mention that you and I do a lot of things together, and you'll see me at City Hall quite a bit, but the St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce is not associated with government of any kind. We are a private
Good
sector.
job, April. Merry
Nonprofit.
Christmas.
Bye, April. A nonprofit, not-for-profit private sector business, and so we do a lot of fundraising. Our monies come from just our membership and our fundraising raffles such as this. We also have
You're a Florida not-for-profit corporation.
We are. We're a 501c6, and then we have our 501c3, which is our foundation, which does Young Floridian, which we're looking for sponsors and judges right now. That's almost a 30-year program we've been
So
giving
when I
out
received that
scholarships.
complaint on Facebook about you last night, I just refer it directly to you.
You do, and I will
I've
get
no
to the bottom of
jurisdiction
it.
over you.
You don't, and I will get to
Clearly.
the bottom of it, I promise. But yes. So anyway, we also have our online auction site where you can go and bid on items that local people have donated. We have Chick-fil-A. There is a 4-hour bass fishing trip in Okeechobee. We're excited about that.
Chick-fil-A is coming to St. Lucie West.
It is. And then we
Got an
have
invitation for their opening there.
4 New York Mets upper reserve seats for spring training are on there now.
Did
So
BurgerFi sign up to be a chamber member?
that is a question for our director of sales, Mr. Mark Tremblay.
It's in process.
It's in process.
Okay, because they opened right
Stephanie,
across
I
from Mission
think-
Barbecue, and they had the second biggest opening in Florida.
Mission Barbecue did, or
No,
BurgerFi?
BurgerFi.
Yeah, and Stephanie was pushing them. And we appreciate it when you do push some of our national organizations to get involved locally. We think it's important. So thank you for that, Councilwoman Morgan, for busting their chops, as they say. You ready to poll?
Yes.
Okay, let's
Let me mix
spin
it up because,
yes,
you know,
mix
that
it
matters
up,
all.
mix it up. No ripping. All right. You ready?
You do it. Go for it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. I couldn't see if I looked directly at it, so we're good. All right.
Oh, that's our names.
Do we know it? Do you know this person?
Diane McDonough.
Diane McDonough! She's not here, but Diane McDonough is a longtime friend of the chamber, and she works at Watercress. They host our ambassador. See, we like it when our friends get to go. But see if she needs somebody, a cabin mate. Call her right now, Councilwoman Morgan. Call her and see if she needs a cabin mate, and you can go on the cruise with us. We're excited about it. Also, if you want to just
Councilwoman Morgan, do you want to call her right now on
She's
live
calling
TV?
her and saying,
Here's a microphone for you.
I can think of no better way to be informed than for a councilwoman and a mayor to call you and
Tell her
tell
not
you
to
you're going on a
swear.
cruise. And we're also excited to do this event every single second Friday of the month. We're going to see if she answers, but we've got to wrap up here shortly. Is she not going to answer? We're calling our winner.
She doesn't recognize the number.
Oh, she recognizes it. Is Stephanie calling her? Is Councilwoman Morgan calling her? She's very busy at the Brennedy, but we'll reach out to her and have. Oh, voicemail. As a group, let's all say you won on her voicemail. She's crazy people. Till next time, everybody, have a very great day. Thank you to
Merry
the mayor
Christmas. Happy New Year.
of Port St. Lucie, Greg Oravec, and everybody here at City of Port St. Lucie for helping us out.